Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? Welcome to this second playoff match between KPA and Kenya Prisons Volleyball Clubs. It's good to have you with us today after such an eventful semi-final day yesterday. The results of which we are seeing today. This playoff match is happening now. Then later on, I think we'll be watching the finals. I'm sure much awaited, and it should be between Chema and the General Service Unit, who gave us quite an entertaining match against KPA yesterday, a 5-setter that saw KPA come up 2 sets behind and win it for GSU, or rather KPA came up 2 sets trailing, but finally lost it to GSU on the 5th set. Just concluded is the first playoff match that happened between Kenya Prisons and DCI. Another 5-setter, almost a replica of what happened yesterday, seeing Kenya Prisons ladies coming up 2 sets down to make it a 5-setter and eventually losing it 3 sets to 2. Remember that the winner in this match will also go ahead to take the bronze medal. And the match is on currently 3 points each. First set of the match. Tell us where you're watching us from. Tell us your predictions for this match. Your expectations. Which player to you stands out or is expected to stand out in this first set? Enoch Mogeni was instrumental in the team yesterday. But today, we wait to see whether the rest of the team will give that support that was so much required yesterday. Also, with the Kenya Prisons, Dennis Esokon was lagging quite a bit, and we also saw a case where the kitchen bulb, Elfas Makuto, stepped out briefly during that semi-final, but saw Prisons lose once again to Chema. This time round for the first time, but eventually the result coming in that there was no best of 3 series, so there was no redeeming that, unlike what happened during the finals last week. Elfas Makuto, and it's a point for KPA. Remember that today we get to know who walks away as the king and queen of the MOZZART Kenya Cup Tournament 2025-2026 season. Charles Munene, good afternoon to you. Great to have you as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. As we enjoy this match, kindly share the live far and wide as you can. Give us your predictions, like I said. Subscribe, like, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Bena, you're saying Shoka Republic locked in. All the best to Kenya Prisons. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much, Kolo Tultul. Thank you for being a staunch supporter from day one. We truly appreciate you. You are behind Kenya Prisons. Served by the kitchen bulb. Wanyama picked by the libero Maluki. It's a bit difficult to finish, and the lack of anticipation by Felix making it difficult to make that pick. But the match continues. The point goes to Kenya Prisons, currently in the lead. 3 points clear. Makuto on the net. Isaac, you're saying KPA all the way. The scores are 5 points for KPA, 8 points for Kenya Prisons. Ezekiel Rob, you're saying prisons all through. Hilarious, you're saying KPA, watching us live from Mombasa. Easily picked by the libero. Elfas Makuto off the hands of Wanyama. Well, Jafal, I'm not sure whether that would be a sufficient yardstick to determine who is the best. That will largely be determined by the execution, of course, on both sides, Makuto and Mogeni, and also the number of attempts that each get that will result in the accurate measure of who is better. Also, the skills vary from player to player. In my opinion, I would like to think that a player who is versatile, saying they can play several positions, gives that player an upper hand, because if there's a coveted position in the country, then it surely has to be the opposite position. Any player who goes pro, majority play the opposite. I'm yet to see a player go out there and play the outside hitter position. The outside hitter is rather challenging on matters backward defense, reception, the level of accuracy that is required, and the power behind the attack when push comes to shove. I think that goes a long way in determining who plays where. But again, we wait and see. Both players have a named, or rather a point to prove, because there's a reason that they were called up to support each of their teams. Ezekiel Rob, you're watching live from Eldoret. Thank you for tuning in. Ogeni is on court. Jersey number 19. 18, I beg your pardon, for Kenya Ports Authority, who are in white. Isaac unatizama live from Soy Kitale, saying KPA, wishing KPA all the best. Kegode, Diana, you're saying 5 sets, and hard to predict since both sides are equal in strength. Florence, my namesake, good afternoon to you. Nasema uko nyuma ya Kenya Prisons. Thank you for tuning in. And just like you observed Felistas Jepto, there should be a complete rectification on those errors in service on the prison side that happened quite a bit during yesterday's match. Dennis Esokon serving, Prison still in the lead. Meshak, you're saying Oselu will be back soon. Oselu, I think, will be playing for KDF, if I'm not wrong. He got a job with the Kenya Defense Forces, so he should be back soon. Yes, hey. Okay, no problem. Waingia kwa kiwanja. Okay, sawa. To 10. 1 minute. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen, for that small disappearing act. There were matters that needed to be attended to, but we are back like we never left. The match is still on, and the kitchen bulb. Kindly confirm if you can hear me. Kindly confirm if you can get this. Kindly confirm if you can hear me. Anyone? Someone? Thank you, Kolo. Thank you for that confirmation. And it's going to be Wanyama who will be serving for Kenya Prisons. And a block again by Ezeki Ochieng against Dennis. Beautifully done. And it's going to be a service again by Wanyama. Timona goes to serve for Kenya Prisons. Timona with the service. Dennis Omolo. Esokon. It's going to be Zeki Ochieng serving once again. Coach Mokua, or rather, these two people tend to confuse me. Could it be that they are both from the same region? Jameson Terre, I mean, choosing to rest the services of Brian Kamonde, and in his place is Zeki Ochieng. Hilarious Kamau, thank you for that clarification. Florence unasema it's going to be a 3-0 win. Asante sana Geoffrey Kipngetich for that confirmation. Nicholas Morris, Pasha, Felistas, Meshach. Yeah, I truly appreciate you. And it's going to be Mayo with the service. Easily picked by I said it too soon. That solid block by Esokon. And the youngster securing that point for Prisons, who have been stubborn for a better part of the first set. Thank you, Gideon G here. I think you had mentioned that if Prisons was to win their semi yesterday, you would have made your way to Nairobi to witness the finals. Unfortunately, that was not to be. Remember, after this match, we'll be having the first final of the day featuring Kenya Commercial Bank and Kenya Pipeline Company ladies volleyball teams. Later on, we'll be seeing a showdown. We'll be seeing the showdown between Kenya, or rather, Chema Volleyball Club and the General Service Unit. Fasha unasema it's either Prisons to win 3-0 or KPA to win 3-0. Unasema hii haiendi seti 5. James Odhiambo, karibu sana. The action is just starting for the men's side. However, for the ladies, Kenya Prisons lost to DCI 3-2. A very entertaining 5-setter. Quite a showdown that happened earlier on in the day. This is the second playoff match of the day. Enoch Mogedi with a simple finish. And Makuto. And it's almost as if Omolo wanted to cross over and wish that ball to come back on court after attempting to block. Yes, Esokon is a good opposite hitter. But today he plays the outside position alongside Maluki, who was started on the bench yesterday, by the way. Is it a break? No, it's not. Abraham secures that point for the Dockers. Kenya Prisons has since stepped onto the 20-point mark. And shortly after, like we just saw, Kenya Ports Authority joined them. And is the spin by Omolo. Again, Wanyama is a net touch. No, they say that Elfas Makuto crossed the line in an attempt to make that hit. Quite some power behind the ball. And again, the person blocking him, equally a powerful man. Not so tall, but the strength behind those hits, really impressive. And down the line, this time round, he succeeds in getting that point. And a substitution, Jairus steps in place of the youngster. Rollins Juma. Jairus Kipkosgei. An easy pick. Omolo down the middle. Timona Makuto could not stop him. The fan base has come in quite early from the look of things, anticipating that the finals would be starting earlier than expected. And Makuto, the kitchen bulb, beautifully done. What a hit by Makuto. And Kimutai steps in place of Kevin Mayo. I think securing that block line defense for Kenya Prisons. And it's going to be a jump serve. Clearly, you cannot take chances. Another serve on the net. Errors in service, like it had been observed. Chalo unasema finals zitaanza 8 p.m. We wait to see. I remember that that unveiling, or rather of the Cup of Nations competitions, was postponed. And we're back after that timeout. Like I was saying, the unveiling of the Cup of Nations that are later going to happen later in August, end of August, through to early September, I think 5th of September. The unveiling will not be happening. That has been postponed. So that would have taken some time off the starting of the finals, but it will not happen. Easily done. Maluki Kamara failing to block. First set goes to Kenya Prisons. KPA still trailing.
Set one goes to Prisons Kenya men's volleyball. This is
If you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is the second playoff match for the men, or rather, the second playoff match. The first for the men happening here at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani. Not to insinuate that there's another playoff match for the men's side. This is the only one. KPA playing Kenya Prisons. Kenya Prisons have since picked the first set. This is the start of the second set if you're just joining us. And if you cannot make your way to Kasarani, we will be bringing you this and the matches that are coming after this. A bit of a recap. Kenya Prisons lost to DCI 3-2 in the first playoff that happened earlier, just before this one. Kenya Prisons was trailing 2 sets down, made that comeback 2 sets, took it to a 5-setter and later lost it to Kenya, or rather DCI. Makuto, what a hit. Quite the energy behind the ball. And almost an injury on Dennis Omolo, but thankfully it wasn't anything serious. Easily picked and a simple finish. And Esokon attempts to kill it. So does Abraham. The ball is still in play. Wanyama. Esokon. Beautifully done by Dennis Esokon. And it's going to be Timona serving. Timona will be handling that center department with Brian, or rather Juma of Kenya Prisons. Dennis Omolo with the service. An easy pick for Esokon. The kitchen bulb doing it in style. For those who do not know, the kitchen bulb is the brother to head coach Kapu volleyball team, and also the captain of the team, and also one of the trainers of the Kenya Prisons Queens volleyball team, and also a player who's played for Kepler in Rwanda, and also the brother to one of the first, or rather the first Makuto who played in the volleyball, top flight volleyball, both for Malkia and Kenya Pipeline now. She has since retired, Asha Makuto. So that family has a rich history in volleyball. They have been entertaining us for decades. And I would say it's quite a blessing to have that within the family. They can easily make up a full squad that could go and compete outside the country if that were to happen. Abraham with the service, easily picked. Esokon down the line. Beautifully done. Wanyama asking Omolo what happened. The formation of the blocks was accurate. All that was left to do. Well, Makuto, the setter, is the brother to Makuto Elfas. But Ogembo is the nephew. Ogembo is the son to the first Makuto to play top flight volleyball, Asha Makuto. So Ogembo calls Elfas Makuto uncle. See how that is a whole quagmire of situations. Mogeni Enoch at the service court. And it's a service that flies out of play. A lot of energy behind the ball, but unfortunately, it flies out of play. Duncan Wambayo unasema Kamonde should be introduced to try and tame Makuto. Mogeni! Timona could not secure it. The scores are 5-5. Both teams are at par. I'm sure, James, like you said, the parents must be really proud. They should, who knows, start an academy, right? Or a foundation, whichever will work. Six points to 5. Elfas Makuto serving. And it goes flying out of court. Felistas mambo bado hajashika chini. Zeki Ochieng serving. Easily picked. And blocked. No. Blocked by Timona. Stopped by Timona. Dennis Omolo with a simple finish. And a timeout by the coach, or rather substitution, bringing on the youngster. Jersey number 7, Marino Oboke. Jersey number 2, I beg your pardon, Marino Oboke, in place of Felix. What a serve. And he gets that point from the onset. Marino once again serving. There was quite a fan base for Marino yesterday during that match with the Generals. Marino is a Uganda national, and the fan base really came on yesterday. Unfortunately, he did not get to win that match, but quite an impressive player he is. Made that difference for KPA, especially coming back 2 sets down. And the kind of action that is expected during the finals, I think Chema should be prepared, because the general service unit side is not to be played with. Quite literally, they have all their bases covered. It's not going to be an easy fit for them if they are going to survive the finals. However, quite an impressive performance also for Chema side, bringing on 2 new players who, by the way, have been quite instrumental in delivering the victory yesterday, especially one gentleman by the name is 4 Armstrong. The power behind that attack, as well as Omar Hassan Bure, who is a Tanzanian international. Quite some interesting volleyball that was experienced here yesterday. Esokon does not leave that ball to chance. And there was 0 attempt to try and block it. Pasha, you're saying Chema should at least beat GSU. It's not going to be easy. I'm not saying they're not equal to the task, but the kind of gelling that I think GSU has done, having played together for years in such a way, and going out there and bringing on this experience that each of the players who has had a chance to go pro brings to the table, it's not going to be an easy fit. But it is possible. I should add that it is very possible to win against them. Best case scenario, we might just be having a 5-setter if everything stands, or if status quo remains. Indeed, Armstrong and Ogutu did a wonderful job yesterday. They did very well for the Chema side. And indeed, Caleb, you're saying GSU isn't a walk in the park. Absolutely not. They are a side to be feared. Jacinta, you're saying you love both teams, but may the best team win. Tuned in from Mala. Thank you for tuning in. Asante sana Mwalimu Mats for tuning in. Good morning, and thank you again for the thumbs up. The ball goes out of play. 12-11. The finals for the ladies are after this match. And later on, the finals for the men. Another error in setting. Tell us predictions for the match, this as well as the finals. Quite an anticipated final that we expect. And I hope it delivers the kind of action and excitement that it promises. It's going to be really nice to see it happening. And for the love of the sport, I mean, what a way to end the season. Today, I think it's the end of the season for all the teams happening here at the Mo International Sports Center, Kasarani. Not to worry though, there's some action, really good action that is coming up later in August. The Africa Cup of Nations for the Malkia Strikers is taking part in Nairobi, Kenya for the first time in a very long time. We expect quite some action with a total of 16 teams expected to take part. And we know for a fact that if the fan base turns up in their numbers, surely it's only right that Kenya will emerge victorious. Kenya, by the way, is the defending champions in that category. But the icing on the cake, again, would be defending it. And also, this will be the qualifiers for the Olympics for 2028. So come up, come on and show up for the girls. And yeah, let's cheer them on to victory. We really do hope that the best comes to Kenya. And again, playing at home, they have the added advantage of you, the fans. Asante sana, thank you for the pizza. You live in Paris. Thank you for tuning in. Ramsa, I hope I say that right. Few official. You're saying Chema stands a chance against the Generals and can take the nearest you can take that to the nearest bank. We wait to see. Indeed, KPA are a shadow of themselves, as you rightfully observed, Chela. There's something about losing at a level that you don't expect. I mean, look at Kenya Prisons ladies. They lost to DCI, despite the fact that they went on to play the finals in the National League. So yeah, and actually losing by that kind of margin, a 5-set situation, and Prisons leading 14 points to 11, looking for just 1 point to take it home, and DCI coming up from that level and going on to win. I think a lot can happen mentally when you lose and you did not expect it. Makuto Elfas, beautifully done. Joseph unasema the men's final depends on the blocks, and it will be a straight win for the team that ideally has the best blocks. James Odhiambo, you're saying that Elijah Bosire's retirement really cost KPA, and they need to find a better setup. Kevin Kipkemoy, it's true that the setup for KPA has really played a big part for the side. And you almost wonder whether he's once played with Mogeni at any point in time. Mwalimu Matthew saying Chema is a force to reckon. Indeed it is. Zukinu by BBA, you're saying Pipeline and GSU are going to win. Watching us all the way from Muranga. Thank you for tuning in. Esokon and that 3-man block proving to be difficult to penetrate for Esokon. Weriket, you're saying Kenya Prisons will win it 3-1. Still in play. Again. It's going to be Makuto down the line, but it goes out of play. Charlo, you're saying that KPA has one of the best setters currently. Very good. Yes, Elijah Bosire is my twin brother. It's difficult to tell unless anyone can confirm whether Ogutu will be going to KBA or to Reg. Again, those are rumors that are flowing around. Whether that is accurate, we will know in due course. I mean, the next season should be in about 2 months. Charles Munene, you're saying you're yet to heal from yesterday's first set loss for KPA. After they had been leading for, or rather at 24-21 and eventually losing 26-24. You have to keep on keeping on. Hillary, you're saying that GSU and Kenya Pipeline will be the champions. That final will not be an easy one, but judging by the consistency and the way all the 4 teams concerned have been playing, I think it's easy to kind of predict how it's going and who gets to secure it or not. But you're here for it. And a service. Marino serving. A simple float serve picked by Esokon. Esokon with the finish. Right where Mogeni Enoch was to block. Timona with the service. Mayo steps back in. Timona to serve. Another service out of play. Those errors in service really doing a lot of injustice for the Kenya Prison side. Dennis Omolo to serve. Simply done. Picked by Maluki. Esokon. KPS setter's name is Marino Oboke. Plays in Uganda. Nelson Wamukote, you're saying you're watching us live from Thika. Kenya Prisons all the way. And what a hit by Wanyama. Chebet, you're saying KPA will possibly win. James Odiambo, you're saying experience is the best teacher. And Jesse will win with a lot of experience, while Chema will try to use muscle. And again, volleyball is not a game of muscles only. You have to be really witty and smart if you're going to secure these points. And the referee having a conversation with the captain, KPA. I think trying to send a message to the head coach, a clarification on a rule that bars a player from having their hands above the head when they are on the block line. That will be considered as shielding the opponent side from seeing the serve. Esokon Wanyama not blocking. John Kule, you're watching us from Meru and saying all the best to KPA. Service by Esokon. Picked by Omolo. And delivered by Mogeni. Japal, you're saying that KPA set Marino Oboke plays for Kepler in Rwanda. I see clarification. Is he Ugandan? Because I assumed, and a mistake on my part, that being from Uganda, he plays for Uganda. But yeah, he plays for Kepler in Rwanda. And again, with such skills, I am not surprised. The kitchen bulb delivering that for Kenya Prisons. Kamara is on the bench. He had been substituted by one, or rather coming on to this set, Mogeni stepped in the opposite position, while Wanyama played the outside hitter alongside Omolo Dennis. So Kamara is not on court. He was though in the first set. Thank you very much for that clarification. He is indeed Ugandan. Volleyball action. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying the match. Michael Onyonyi, you're tuned in from Naivasha. And that's quite an observation, Cassie, that Felix led the team to winning the league in, by the way, last week, literally. And he has done well for himself. I mean, those shoes that he needed to fit in, Elijah Bosire, would have rather been too big, but he's done well for himself throughout the season and delivering that trophy. For the first time in a very long time, realized that Kenya Ports Authority started from Division 2 before making it to Division 1 and playing for a very long time in Division 1 without even getting the trophy, and finally having to get it earlier, or rather last week. So yeah, quite an impressive performance it was for Felix. And history made. I mean, in the books of history when it comes to Kenya Ports Authority, when the story is told of the players that delivered the first win in the league for the Blue Submarines, his name will appear there. So giving Felix his flowers, as we should. John, you're saying that KPA has straight comeback sets. Thank you so much, Weriket, for that. And a substitution, Kimtai comes in for Mayo as the kitchen bulb goes to serve. Jafal, you're saying that KPA will win against Prisons 3-1, picked by Sam Juma. And Zeki hitting it out of play. Timeout for Kenya Ports Authority. KPA at set point. Kenya Prisons 22. A lot can happen. Chris Owala. Yes, indeed. Chris Owala is part of the team, but not on the bench. I think he is nursing an injury. Stubborn knee, if I'm not wrong, injury that has had him out of action for a bit. We expect to see him back, hopefully during the 2026-2027 season. Enoch Mogeni seals it, 25-22. Both teams, one set. The battle has just begun. A lot can happen. So we wait to see. Keep it locked. Tell a friend to tell a friend that the action is happening here at yegontv with yours truly, Florence Bosira. And the start of the third set in this playoff match, KPA and Kenya Prisons. Kenya Prisons, both the teams actually have a set each. Kenya Prisons being the first to take the first set, and just recent second set taken by Kenya Ports Authority. First score goes to Kenya Prisons, and Kevin Mayo with the service. Easily done by Abraham, the center blocker for the side. It's going to be a service for Marino. Makuto Elfas. And I think that attempt to get a touch off the hands of Mogeni being smart enough to take his hands off in time for that attack, and missing it, and goes flying out of court. And Angelina, I was a former player of Kenya Prisons ladies volleyball team, and yes, I am a prisons officer. Albert Suma, you're saying that Kenya Prisons will win, watching us all the way from Liboi. Felicitas umeamua kungojea finali. Niko Matasa, you're watching us from Gazi Boy, saying KPA, oh yeah. And you're busy, unachunga mbuzi zako porini, and you are in Kasarani with us. Your predictions are that KPA will win 3-1. Michael, you're saying that Prisons will come back stronger. Watching us from Naivasha. Hilarious, you're saying that, oh yes, Kibitai, Mayo, and Mayo Kevin are cousins. And so is Meli, a cousin to them. And Lydia Mayo, and I should add Philip Mayo. They are siblings. So yeah, quite a rich family of players there. I'm trying to be corrected, but it's possible that Paul Bitok is also a member of that family, extended family. Kamonde is again on the bench. I think Zeki Ochieng and Abraham are the center blockers for now. It's simply done by Abraham again. Charles Kitemo, you're watching us from Lebanon, saying may the Dockers win. Felista Jepto, I'm sorry about the kicks. Clearly, that is a volleyball player looming. I hope that one day we are going to be seeing that baby on court. And I would be glad to be talking about them when the time comes. And it's a block out by Mayo. When the time comes, it will be really exciting. Hizo kicks unazisikia labda zinaweza kuwa ni takeoffs. Kunywa maji kwa wingi, and yeah, wanasema haya mambo ni madogo sana, usiweke kwa roho, unaziweka kwa lungs, ukipumua zinatoka. Mogeni serves it on the net. William Toure, you're saying Kenya Prisons will win. Watching us live from Embakasi, 75 RT. And the service again, error in service by Esokon. Davis Gongo, you're saying Kenya Prisons to win. Tuned it live from Mombasa. Kitchen barber, weke moto ya generator. Felix Kemboi, you're tuned in from Kakuma, waiting eagerly for the finals. Substitution, Kimutai steps in for Juma, not Juma, Timona. For Timona, Kimutai steps in. And I think it's going to be a jump float. Simply picked by Sam Juma Mogeni down the line. There was no picking that. Kindly, if you haven't, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you get a heads up whenever we're about to start a match. A double block, beautifully done by Abraham, both on the right and the left side. Kiprotich, you are live from Eastbania, saying Kenya Prisons Kichwa. Remember that both teams do have a set. This is the third set. Kogo Matthew natizama kutoka Migiwa Estate, Prisons Kenya Kichwa. Lex the doctor watching us from Mombasa, wishing the Dockers all the best. Thank you for tuning in. And it's going to be Kimutai Mayo with the service. A simple pick. Down the middle again, Abraham did not disappoint. Kibiwat Mutai, you're tuned in from Industrial Area Prison. Saying all the best to Kenya Prisons. And also Harold Keitani in Eldoret is a great fan. Thank you so much for your comment and for tuning in. Moja kwa moja kutoka Kakuma, Turukana, Kenya. Prisons Kichwa, Eric Tanui. You say, and Faith Odor is tuned in all the way from Umoja. Faith Odor, tell us who you are supporting. Fasha, huo ni uchokozi. Tafadhali, wacha uchokozi Fasha. And a serve for Maluki. We are yet to see Gregory step onto the court, but it's going to be just a wish, seeing as the kitchen bulb is doing wonderfully well. Like I earlier mentioned, that position, the opposite side, is quite competitive in Kenya. Most of the players that we have had go play professional have played in the opposite position. And just recently, the center department and also the setter position, Brian Meli, finishing, I think, his second season in Rwanda and doing wonderfully well. Abraham was formerly of Equity Africa and now plays for KPA, having a field day today in this match against Kenya Prisons. He might just indeed scoop the individual award. An ace by Juma. Samuel Mwandikwa, unatizama kutoka Siolima, saying Maluki, by extension, Prisons all the way. Baby S, you're saying you're watching us from Mari Akani. Oh, Mayo Stevens, you're also a Mayo, a member of that family. I think at this point you should organize a friendly match between you and the Makutos. The Bosiras will be offering services in that setter department. If you might need them. I'm sure the Mayos would not need them, but the Makutos, maybe. Also, one of the Makutos, I believe, is a setter. So maybe he'll be on the bench, you never know. But hey, that will be really fun to watch. Kamonde is yet to step on court. Abraham doing a wonderful job alongside Zeki Ochieng. But once he's called upon, he's equal to the task. A man that plays in his own class. Leo Mondi, you're tuned in from Wajir, supporting prisons, but they have to work extra smart, or else this might not be their day. Abraham serving, easily floated. Makuto still in play. Wanyama, simple tip, still in play. And Wanyama again on the ground. Hopefully it's nothing serious. He has had quite a run in this on this weekend. I think also Friday, something similar almost happened. Hoping that it's nothing serious. Sharon Onyango, you tuned in from industrial area. All the best to Kenya Prisons. Thank you for tuning in. Zeki is on his league now. Yes, he is, but I think no two players are identical in their way of playing. Each one is cut out differently, but both bring good performance when it comes to playing on that center department. Evans Kimeto, you're tuned in from Kibich, Turkana County. All the best to Kenya Prisons. Thank you for tuning in. Alex Godana saying KPA all the way. Judith Kadenge, you're saying you're winning this as KPA. KPA to the world. Leo Mondi, like I said, watching from Wajir, supporting Kenya Prisons. Kutoka Kitale, Cherenganyi, wishing KPA all the best. Ruth Mosbe, you are saying, watching from Siolima, saying Maluki all the way. Samuel Mwandikwa. Well, Wanyama seems to be in a lot of pain. Abi Mite, you're saying Kenya Prisons is going to imprison KPA. Morris Musimi, you are behind KPA. Kutoka Homa Bay, Kennedy Okoth, you love KPA. Thank you for those comments. Keep them coming. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Imagine if every one of us did that. It will really go a long way in helping us build the numbers. And if you can also do something on that M-Pesa TL, it is also going to help us keep the systems running. And Wanyama still on court. A service by Makuto. Leo Mondi, I'm not sure what you mean. But of course, there have been quite some changes in Kenya Prisons with the entry of these young players. The likes of Maluki, the likes of Gregory, Kelly, quite a number of players that have been brought on board to beef up that side. And like they say, if someone must come in, someone needs to leave. So who knows? That could be just what happened. Again, we love to see development. And as they say, change is the only thing that is constant. Down the middle, Timon Kimutai. Wonderfully done. John Jagi, you're tuned in from Mombasa, saying KPA will win and carry the day. Eric Maisiba, you're watching from Nakuru, saying Kenya Prisons all the best. And live from Kampala, Uganda, CK Gill, you are tuned in. I hope you are enjoying the matches. Kutoka Kilgoris, Transmara, Martin Sakong, you are tuned in. And from Langata, James Osura, unatutizama. And a solid block by this man, Marino Oboke. He's not as tall, but his blocks certainly are doing a wonderful job for the KPA side. Beautifully picked by the libero again, Timon Kimutai. Timon Kimutai doing a wonderful job for Kenya Prisons volleyball team. Festus unatizama live from Buruburu, Nairobi, Kenya, saying all the best to Kenya Prisons. An attack by Omolo Dennis. Kutoka Embu, Richard Gidenji. Kimunge unatutizama, wishing Kenya Prisons all the best. David Mudaki unasema you're a fan of Chema na unatakia KPA ushindi. And a simple spin by Maluki, sending it flying out of court. All the way from Kampala, Uganda, P. Mercy. Solely behind Marino Oboke. That is KPA. Thank you so much for tuning in. Suzy watching from Eldoret. Wishing KPA all the best. And Juma doing it down the middle. Yegon is away on official duties. So he will not be joining us this weekend. Mzee Mzima, Michael Wanyonyi, glad to know that you are enjoying these matches all the way from Naivasha. Jafal, Uganda, you're tuned in live from Tororo, Uganda. Thank you for tuning in. Kutoka kwa Walamamba, munaitakia Kenya Ports Authority ushindi. James Ombati. Mayo, what a set. I mean, that is pure class. Juma did not know what to do. And he really has to have some power in those hands to set that ball all the way to the outside position, despite that ball coming all the way from outside the opposite side. This man, Oboke, doing wonderfully well for KPA. Maluki secures that point. Oh, Gideon, yes indeed, the Makiso family really has done well for volleyball. I know of Sila Makiso, Willie Kolum, Pius Birech, all members of the same family and working for the Kenya Defense Forces. All of whom, by the way, have also played for KDF for quite some time. Watching us live from Ruaraka, wishing KPA all the best. Sarah Gatwiri, you're tuned in. And humble soldiers, as they are fondly known, Kenya Prisons getting that point. It's going to be Jairus serving. Daninho, you're saying Bamo, Uganda. Another block. Dennis Ireke Esokon. Excited at that block. It was completely unexpected. But he did manage to deliver that block. Naftali Maitedio, you tuned in from Nairobi West, saying Team Prisons to go. I am very partisan. I'm not supporting any team, non-partisan. So, like I say, may the best team win. Maitedia, you have been missing in action this weekend. Paul Kones, you tuned in from Nanyuki. Thank you for tuning in. And Felicitas unasema Kenya Prisons hawataki 100,000. And still KPA in the lead with just a point. Jairus to the service, easily picked by Sam Juma down the middle. Abraham delivers it. The ladies side had Kenya Prisons lose to DCI 3-2. A breathtaking 5-setter that happened here in the morning hours from 10 a.m. Finishing somewhere or rather at 12 or a little bit past 12. Thank you so much, Gilbert Lagat, for that. Paul Connest is saying Kenya Prisons all the way to the bank. Yes, the scores are currently 19-18. I mentioned Makuto's family in detail. I think that was the genesis of this conversation. I think they carry the junk of volleyball families in the country. Susanna, you're saying KPA all the way to the bank. Felicitas, a prediction that is going to be a 5-setter. Remember that after this, we'll be seeing the first final match of the day. Kenya Pipeline Company faces it off with Kenya Commercial Bank Volleyball Club. Those are familiar foes. A derby that has been waiting to happen for a very long time. I think the last time we saw it was earlier in the year, just as the league was catching up, if I should say so. A showdown that is expected with both teams equal to the task. Kevin Gitonga, you're saying Prisons all the way. Thank you for tuning in. I think the scores are indeed 19-19. The scores are 19-19. Omolo Dennis with the service. And down the middle, Juma does it. Beautifully done. Doreen Haemba, sikuoni bana, ulikuwa hapa jana, umepotelea wapi leo? You're saying all the best to Kenya Prisons kama kawaida. And that is pure solidarity. Solid behind Kenya Prisons, whether they win or they don't. Abraham to serve. 2019. Peter Kabata. Makuto. Prisons solely behind Prisons. You're Sugut from Westlands. Thank you for tuning in. In the substitution, Gregory steps in place of Kevin Mayo. Fasha, you're saying KCB will take the day in that match against Kenya Pipeline. Remember that Kenya Pipeline are the reigning champions of the 2025-2026 Kenya Volleyball Federation's national season. National League season. And a one-man block, Gregory. Doing it wonderfully. Felisa Jepto unasema masi muhimu atafulika watu vibaya sana. Tuko papa hapa, hatuondoki. Tutawaletea mechi hizi moja kwa moja kutoka uga wa Moi International Sports Center Kasarani. Iwapo hautaweza kufika mahali hapa, kaa kitako, chai mkononi, na ufurahie mechi hizi tutakazokuwa tukizipeperusha kwa niaba yako. Frederick Odhiambo, you're saying Dockers all the way. Time out for Kenya Prisons or KPA, by the way. Oh, karibu sana Doreen. We are waiting for you. Indeed, wonderful blocks by Kiprono. Freddy Kogola unasema KP all the way to the bank, and Jesse will win against Chema. Again, we wait to see how that works out. Hi, Mama. How are you? And service heavy on the hand. Peter Kabata was on the receiving end. Dennis Esokon to serve substitution. In a double substitution, Kamara in for Oboke, and Felix steps in for one Enoch Mogeni, trying to, oh, asante sana Grace Etiang, watching us live from Joska. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you here. And a point for KPA. Hilary Mbogo, you're tuned in from Igamba House. Unasema hapa kitaeleweka. Wanyama to serve. A simple spin. Peter Kabata picks it. And Esokon blocked by Kamara Peter. Abraham Rono, the second referee, you're sending a shout out. I think you mean he's your neighbor, Kolo Tultul. Indeed, it is a very competitive match. Time out for Kenya Prisons. And Kenya Ports Authority have since caught up. Joshua Muoki, you're saying you love this game. We appreciate you. Wanyama Munyama at the service court. Maputo on the court, down the line. (23-22), or is it set point? Set point for KPA. Both teams at 24. And Molo Dennis secures that point, taking it to 25-24. Joanna Jelagat, you're tuned in live from Kawangware, sending a shout out to Kawangware volleyball team. They are all watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Looking forward to seeing you in action. And the kitchen ball picked by Wanyama. set by Kamonde. Who will it be? Kitchen bulb. And it goes flying out of play. It's a wrap. Set number 3 goes to Kenya Ports Authority. 2 sets KPA, 1 set Prisons Kenya. The fan base on their feet. Center Kasarani. Kenya Ports Authority do have 2 sets. Kenya Prisons have 1 set. The first of the match that they took when we started this match. If Kenya Ports Authority happen to take this set, then we will be calling it a day. But if Kenya Prisons makes a comeback, we could be looking at a 5-setter. And Maina unasema good luck to the Dockers. It's going to be Kimtai Mayo, or Timon Kimtai, as you may know him. With the service, Oboke, an error, an attempt at dodging stopped by Jairus Kipkosgei. And it's going to be a service once again for Timon Kimtai. Omolo Dennis picked by Kimtai. Jairus Kipkosgei hitting it out of play. Indeed, it was quite the finish. Paul Connes. A simple serve by Oboke. And that dodge by Kevin Mayo securing that point for Kenya Prisons. Kevin Mayo will be serving. Kotieno unasema unatizama kutoka from the corner of your round keja in feather. I would really like to see how that house looks like, or the architect behind that. Beautifully done by Juma. The other Juma on court. Kituito Mokia. You're watching us live from Baringo. Thank you so much for tuning in. And an error in service. So once again, a situation that has been really recurrent on the Kenya Prisons side. It's also happening for other teams, but not as much for Kenya Prisons if you count the total number of services that have been lost in their matches. It really is alarming. Easily picked. A simple finish. Mogeni Enoch. Simple brush of the hands of Elfas Makuto. The kitchen bulb. Another error in service by Omolo Dennis. Abud Kimurgor, you're watching us live from Imara Daima. Asante kwa kujiunga nasi. And a simple pick by Omolo. Wanyama stopped by Makuto. Still in play. Makuto, there's a net touch. Abraham touching the net. Kotieno nakuona sana. Kotieno nakuona sana, mambo yako nayaona kabisa, nimekuonea 18. And punished by Esokon. Those errors in reception happening quite often. Abud, you're saying all the best to Kenya prisons. And another possible injury. These have been happening a lot, showing the kind of tension that is on court, and the kind of fighting spirit that all the players have, doing everything they can to save these balls and make sure they secure as many points as they can. An easy pick, Mogeri above the blocks. Juma and Esokon failing to block it. The kitchen bulb blocked. Esokon blocked. There's a net touch. There is a net touch. Zeki surprised that that was called. Simply served by Juma. Boke down the middle. Esokon. Dennis Ireke Esokon. This could easily be a 5-setter. It's a slowly boiling to that. The second one of the day, if that were to be. Gregory is on the bench. He did come in briefly during the third set. Oboke and Enoch Mogeni sending that ball flying out of court. Mwalimu Momat saying the fifth set is looming. Kenya Prisons enjoying quite the comfortable lead in this fourth set of the playoff match. Both teams eager to take the bronze position and ultimately 100,000 Kenya shillings, I might add. Paul Konesi is saying that KPA will be losing if they continue like this. Kiteiwo Ben, you tuned in from Parklands. And Wanyama, I think he tried to get a touch of those blocks. A solid 3-man block. That was definitely not easy to penetrate. And it's going to be a service by Juma once again. Floating it across quite easily, Sam Juma. Wanyama, picked by Juma. Esokon down the line. Beautifully done. Substitution, Zeki out, Brian Kamonde steps in. Sorry. Enoch Mogeni does it beautifully. Again, Mogeni with the service. Mogeni. Oboke touching the net. Trying to get that point. 13-5. What a margin. And Obogeni out. And Kamara Peter steps in. The kitchen bulb goes flying out of play, but it did look like it was landing on court. What a hit, Timon Kimutai. Esokon serving it out of play. Brian Kamonde, Peter Kabata. And easily done by Abraham. Down the middle. Still in play. The rebound by Kamonde. Peter Kamara. Jairus Kipkosgei picked by Wanyama. Kamonde sets it. Omolo, a simple spin. They're definitely going to be punished for that. There's a net touch. Kevin Kipchumba will be stepping in for Omolo Dennis. Kevin Kipchumba in, playing the opposite alongside Kevin Wanyama. And Kimutai with the service. Sam Juma picks it. Again, Oboke trusting Abraham, but unfortunately, he did not deliver. Timon Kimutai once again. Wanyama down the middle again, still in play. The backcourt defense functional for the humble soldiers today. What a hit! But will it be sufficient to cover those scores? Picked by Wanyama. Felix with the set. A simple pass by Kipchumba. And done beautifully by Juma down the middle. Volleyball played the Kenya Prisons way. And responded in equal style. and equal fashion by Kamara. Simply done by coordination, combination, call it what you may, but that was missing for Kenya Prisons. Easily picked. Well done. And again, that coordination problem, Kamara. Beautifully done. Beautifully done by Peter Kamara. $12 points to 17. The Blue Submarines are slowly pulling a comeback. Michael from Naivasha, you're saying that this is where Kenya Prisons belong. There it is again for the third time. What a set. Still in play, a simple finish. Wanyama picks it. It happening also in the KPA side. What is happening? Elfas Makuto with the hits. Easily picked by Kipchumba. And Abraham failing to make that finish. A point for Kenya Prisons. Kenya Prisons once again stepping onto the 20th point mark. After that timeout, Abraham steps out for Okore. I think slowly Ontera is resting his starting six in preparation for the fifth set, because it's inevitable that this is going to the fifth set. An error in reception. Jairus serving. Yes, Kimani, my name is Florence Bosire. I think Elfas Makuto is called the kitchen bulb because of how high he jumps when he hits that ball. Another error in setting. Felix fumbling. Jairus serving, an easy pick. Okore once again that backcourt. And what a hit by Wanyama, picked by Peter Kabata. The kitchen bulb. And the referee says there was a net touch by Kamara. 23-12. This is definitely going to be a 5-setter. Yes, Kimani, I was a player for Kenya Prisons lady side. And the ball goes out of play. A service for Jairus. Set point for Prisons Kenya. KPA 13. The first final match will be coming up after this match. Kenya Pipeline will be playing Kenya Commercial Bank. And later we'll be seeing for the men's side, Chema play the General Service Unit volleyball team. There it is again. Whatever is happening with the setters, we do not know. Yes, I am the sister to Kenya, Bosire in Kenya Prisons men's team, and also the Bosire, the trainer, Kenya Ports Authority volleyball team. And point for Kenya Prisons, sending these to a 5-setter. They have fought hard in this 4th set. Mkiti, unasema mechi zote leo zitakuwa Set number 5, just starting. We are here to witness who gets crowned the bronze medalists. What a hit by Kimutai. Abraham did not believe it. It moved so fast and went straight on the floor. There was no attempt whatsoever at blocking it. I think that inclusion of Kimutai for the side has really beefed up the attack for the center department. Mayo with that set. And simple finish. Mogeni is back. Abraham is back. And so is Wanyama. Simply done by Mayo Kevin. Felistas, you're saying you're praying, huh? Maluki is not on court, he's on the bench. And another error in service. Kibe Bebeto, the Coach Anderson, wishing KPA all the best. You're saying that Elijah Bosire was your setter at Blue Triangle. Job, you're watching us from Lodwa, saying KPA all the best. And Maina, you're watching us from Tilisi Lemoro. Thank you for tuning in. And Makuto, beautifully done by Makuto. Unfortunately, the referee indicating that he indeed stepped on the line in an attack, lack of communication between the first and second referee. And the second referee overruling that call out. The point goes to Kenya Prisons. And Dennis Omolo goes to challenge that. That consultation happening. Asante sana, David Mudaki. I am humbled. Thank you so much. Lenis, you're saying all the best to Prisons Kenya. Thank you for that. And the point remains for Kenya Prisons. Timon Kimtai will be serving. Enoch Mogeni secures it. Served by Dennis Omolo. And solely block Enoch Mogeni and Abraham. Beautifully done. Dennis Omolo still serving. Easily picked. Oboke Mogeni picked by Jairus and sent out of play by the kitchen bulb. Unfortunately, there was a net touch by Kenya Ports Authority, so they do not get that point. Thank you so much, Paul Cones, for the flowers. I appreciate it. Enoch Mogeni, a clean hit. And it's a point for the Dockers. Robert Situma, you're wishing all the best to Kenya Prisons. Thank you for tuning in. As Lennis Lennis Kibet does the same. And there it is, Kamonde doing it for the Dockers. From Ngecha, Limuru sub-county, Prisons will win the game in this 5-set. Kiplimo Judah, you say timeout for Kenya Prisons. Kenya Ports Authority have since caught up and overtaken Kenya Prisons. Leo Mondi unasema Prisons all the way. Nico unasema hii imeenda. And it's Abraham to serve. Simply done across the net. And the first referee, Nick Mutuma, saying that Abraham stepped on the line when serving. Tempers are rolling high. Tempers are running high. Not sure whether the first referee is Nick Mutuma. We'll have to confirm that. And with that, the point goes to Kenya Prisons. Tensions running high. It has not happened at any point during the match that Abraham stepped on that line while executing that jump float. And there we go. The point goes to Prisons Kenya. Kenya Prisons gets that point. And it's going to be Esokon serving. Simple spin across the nets. And Mogene finishes it in style. And it's Mogeni to serve. Punished by Wanyama. And we switch sides, 8 points to 5. KPA in the lead. Abraham alikuwa amechemka kweli kweli. And it's 8 points to 5, picked by Esokon. Jairus hitting it out of play. 9 points to 5. Still Enoch Mogeni serving. And this time it lands on the net. A service for Juma, the youngster in the Kenya Prisons men's volleyball side. Simple floats, serve. Sam Juma picks it. Oboke Mogeni. Juma could not pick it. Service by Wanyama Kevin. Simply done. Peter Kabata. Mayo, the kitchen bulb. The referee said Omolo indeed touched the net. 7 points to 10. Substitution, Gregory in. Kevin Mayo out. Elfas Makuto serving. And he does it out of the court. Not as expected, especially at this point of the match. 11 points to 7. KPA 4 points shy of taking this match. And Kimutai Mayo doing it beautifully down the middle. Eight, 11, Jairus serving. And simply picked by Sam Juma. Oboke sets it and Abraham does the finish. 12 points to 8. Again, Kimutai. It's a battle for the middles. 9-12. And it's out. Very rare for Kimutai to make errors in services. He's one of the players that Kenya Prisons depend on to execute those services. But it was not to be. And a service on the net by Omolo Dennis. 13-10, if I am not wrong. And a simple spin, almost as if it was also flying out. Enoch Mogeni. Set point for the Dockers. 10 points, Kenya Prisons. Ni vita vya katikati. And by katikati mimi namaanisha uwanjani. Let nobody misquote me. 14-10 in favor of KPA. They have a bone to pick with the referee, certainly. Frederick Odhiambo anasema 100k imeenda Mombasa. And it's going to be a service for Okore, the youngster, as Kenya Prisons seek to make a comeback. and possibly equalize. Peter Kabata, Esokon, 11-14. Wanyama could not block it. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the match coming up after this is one between Kenya Pipeline and Kenya Commercial Bank, the first final of the day. And later on, we'll be seeing Kenya, or rather General Service Unit, face it off with Chema Volleyball Team, the silver medalist of the 2025-2026 Kenya Volleyball Federation's National League. The newbies that have quite outdone themselves. Brilliant performance by the team. They've brought in new arms, 2 internationals to beef up the side. While comparing that to what General Service Unit has done, they have well over 5 players who are coming in with experience from different parts of the globe. And that is tasked, those are the players tasked with the responsibility to deliver the win. And it's a wrap. KPA take it 3-2. Well fought by Kenya Prisons. It was not to be. And as well for the ladies side who lost to DCI. Both the Prisons teams finishing 4th. Keep it locked for the first final. Thank you for joining us. My name is Florence Bosire.